Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Dark Side of Music. We have Danny here with us. Hello, Danny. How are you,
Hi.
sir?
I told you. I'm just tired. I'm just tired.
My shirt came.
I love it. I was gonna tell you that when we were just talking a second ago because I could see the tippy top of it. I was like, oh, I see it. I love the shirt. By the way, I have to tell you, my dad loves the shirt too.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
I presented it to
him. Yeah, I didn't get a Dark Side shirt yet, but I did get these shirts for me, my wife, and Chris.
That's awesome.
And it was 2 days late getting here, but it got washed. It fits great. And they're great shirts, man. Like this is an awesome shirt.
I love it. They're nice and comfortable. You're right. Like I wasn't going to be that guy from the band and wear my own, but I did have mine. So. I do really like it. And like I said, my dad really likes it. I think it's an awesome design. Like I just love it.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
What we really need for the Dark Side is those. I'm telling you, we need the mugs that we can just drink while we're talking and doing a case.
So I'm redesigning them. They're going to be up. So instead of how they are right now, so if you go to our merch page right now, it's just the blank cup that has the logo on the front side of it. Instead, the logo is going to be moved to the side, and then there's going to be caution tape wrapping around the mug with our names on it.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be up soon. I've been sketching out like how I want the caution tape to be. And then I have a designer that's going to like finalize it for me. But yeah, it's going to look sick, man. It's going to be great.
I can't wait. Yeah. As soon as those are up, we each have to get them and then we just have them for cases. And it's free advertisement.
That's right. But if you're listening, go check out the page. We got all sorts of merch over there.
There's some really cool stuff there.
Today, though, we are going over the murder of Jam Master Jay from the band Run DMC. Run DMC, of course, being one of the grandfathers of, I don't know, rap, hip hop. Yeah,
I'd say hip hop more so than rap. Definitely hip hop. Probably rap a little bit, but more hip hop.
And kind of like the pioneers of introducing like a mixture of rap and rock, honestly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I feel like, we don't get a lot of, kind of like the late 90s, early 2000s, like, what did we even call that? It's a new wave, new metal, like where they would have rap over top of rock and stuff like that. Hell, Linkin Park. I feel like we might not get without the collab that Run DMC did with Aerosmith.
Run DMC and Aerosmith, absolutely. Yeah. Or like a lot of like Korn's type of stuff is for sure influenced.
That was late 90s, early 2000s. That's what I was trying to think of. I couldn't think of Korn immediately, but I was like Korn, maybe a little bit of Limp Bizkit, but definitely like Linkin Park and Korn and stuff like that for sure. Yeah. You can see the major influences right there.
Absolutely. Before we dive into this, though, I wanted to tell you, we got a lot of feedback on the Dimebag Darrell case.
Did we?
Yeah. People loved that case. So
I thought you were going to... I got scared for a second. I thought you were going to be like, they fucking hated it. We got everything wrong.
No, they loved it. There were a lot of Dimebag supporters out there thanking us for keeping his legacy alive. The only like slightly negative feedback that we got was there was one person that commented something along the lines of like, this concept is interesting, but you guys say a lot of, I am not an expert, but blank. And she said that we should look into possibly bringing in an expert in the field of true crime, which we are. I'm working on it. Lawyers are very busy people, apparently.
Yeah.
So, but we are going to have somebody coming in from Los Angeles who is a music lawyer and has studied music law and litigated for different artists in LA for the last 35 years.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that's going to be coming up. Just waiting to get his schedule aligned to have him on the show.
That's what we call a tease.
That's right. But so I wasn't super familiar with this case at all.
Yeah, me neither. I started reading this and I was like, I'm alive during this, but it's like one of those things where it's like completely like I didn't even realize this happened. Like,
right. Well, and this is our first ever cold case. This has no definitive ending. So this is an open investigation, and there have been some major updates recently. So let's dive in here. So the first thing that we're going to go over is the overview of the case itself, and then we will dive into who Jam Master Jay was and dive into the crime and move on from there to the band's legacy and a bunch of different topics. But let me read over this case overview real quick. On October 30th, 2002, Jason Mizell, better known as Jam Master Jay from Run DMC, was sitting inside of his recording studio in Queens, New York. At approximately 7:30 p.m., two armed men entered the studio. Within moments, Jam Master Jay had been shot in the back of the head at close range. Another man inside of the studio was shot in the leg. The killers escaped. There were multiple people around the studio, yet for nearly 2 decades, nobody was convicted of the murder. Rumors circulated throughout the hip-hop community, and investigators followed countless leads. More than $60,000 in reward money was offered, but the case still remains unsolved. Then nearly 18 years later, federal prosecutors announced the arrest, and their theories completely changed the story surrounding Jam Master Jay's death. According to the prosecutors, it wasn't primarily about a rap beef, fame, or Run DMC. It was about cocaine. And the people accused of killing Jam Master Jay weren't strangers. They were people from his own circle. So, I feel like the stereotype of drugs within the music industry is very much proven at this point.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel it's weird because I feel like there's still drugs in the music industry and stuff like that, but it's like drugs aren't as serious if it makes sense. Like if that makes any sense, because I mean, marijuana's legal most places, so
that
like
is true.
No one's getting in weird fights or any kind of stick ups through that anymore. And then it's like, yeah, I guess there's much harder drugs and stuff that can still like, have these kinds of incidences, but like nowhere near as much as like I feel like the 70s and 80s. I mean, I realize this is like 2000, but like, yeah, I think a lot. I mean, this is over 20 years ago at this point. I feel like in that 20 years, because things have become less like almost taboo is kind of like what I'm more searching for, like as terms for it. With drugs, it's not like you're getting bricks of cocaine and keeping like hiding them at your mansion or something like that. It's just like I'll get some weed from the dispensary, and then if somebody else needs cocaine, we'll get whatever. We don't need a brick of it. Like I feel like
yeah.
But I could be way off because maybe I'm just like not big enough. Like maybe I don't know yet. But no, I don't know. I feel like as the years have gone on, as the decades have gone on, I feel like drugs are less taboo. I want to think that maybe drugs are becoming less and less of a major thing in Hollywood, but like you still Hollywood and in music and that in general. I'm kind of lumping them the entertainment industry all together type of thing. But like I know you have the outliers, people that there are still major celebrities and major musical artists that are ODing or having horrible accidents like involving drugs and stuff like that. But I feel like now they're becoming more of the outlier, less of the norm type of thing. Whereas the further you go back, I feel like you're getting like where that was kind of more of the norm. It was like almost like you were hearing about. Like, there's tons of cases that we've already talked about, and there's plenty more that we can that always have some sort of drug bearing in them, type of thing. So
yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Drugs between being less taboo and honestly less romanticized too, and like it's becoming this idea of it's no longer cool. You know what I mean? People understand the destructive nature, I think, more than in the 70s. So people are kind of looking down on it as like not being the cool thing to do. Now, granted, I'm sure that cocaine is still a major problem. I couldn't imagine it not being. But like, yeah, man, I think that we're at a place right now where you are seeing a bit of a drop off from that. The only downside, if you have to find a downside, is I feel like more artists are now dying of suicides because I don't know. I don't want to say that there is a correlation, but
well, I mean, cocaine's an upper, right? Like what?
Right.
Like I mean,
they're not
marijuana's
chasing
a downer, right?
Yeah, they're not
100%.
chasing the depression with substance abuse. So I again, this isn't pro drug campaign. I'm just saying that like it's an interesting correlation that drug deaths are reducing and suicide deaths are increasing.
Well, you know, it's even industry. What's even crazier, even outside of the music and entertainment industry, the younger and younger generations are drinking less and less alcohol too.
I saw that study. Yeah, I saw that study.
So I don't know if it's just you know how like things always come back around. Like maybe it's just we're hitting the opposite end of the loop, and then it's gonna come back around type of thing. I don't know. I'm not I'm not hoping for that. I'm just saying, like it's like we're on a downswing of like. I mean, everything's so expensive too. So it's like maybe that's really the reason is like why are you gonna go out and spend $180 on like 8 drinks versus having a couple drinks at home and that's it.
Ooh, or is it that social media is taking away because technically they both do the same thing to your brain.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just that like scrolling on TikTok is how the younger generation is having a few drinks, I
don't want this is starting to make me feel old. I don't want to this podcast was not supposed to make me feel old. It's not I have a cousin who's Gen Z and he's like literally like 3 years younger than me and he still hits me with like well my generation. I'm like, you son of a bitch. But anyway, yeah, I think it's just kind of I really do feel like it's one of those things like I don't know how like when you were growing up, like when I was growing up, my dad didn't want to make like alcohol, not drugs, but didn't want to make alcohol taboo. So like he was like, if you want to try a beer, I'll let you try a beer, but you're not going anywhere. Like, I'll let you try one at home. Yeah. And it wasn't like I'm 8 and he lets me try a beer or something. It was like I was 16 and he was like, if you want to, or 15, 16, and you want to try a beer, you can try a beer. I hated the taste of beer, but I like mixed drinks. But like it immediately took the taboo away from it immediately.
Exactly.
So I was just like, why am I going to sneak alcohol? I could have a drink. I hate the taste of beer. Why am I going to do this? So I wonder if, like I was saying, where kind of the taboo is completely gone when it comes to marijuana. Like,
oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it was, I got to say this. I got to say one thing, and I apologize. It was so weird being in Virginia where it was like, there weren't just dispensaries on every corner. Because up here, and especially in New York City, it's literally every corner. Here, it's not every corner yet, but it's like, I could have 3 places that would deliver to me within the hour.
Right.
Type of thing. And they're like legit businesses. It's not like I got a guy that'll come by at some point. They're legit businesses all through like registered and everything like that. So it was so weird going down to Virginia where it was like, all of these are medical. So nothing, you can't go to anything. And we were like, okay, this is weird.
Well, and they still are throwing people in jail around here for weed. It is crazy though that you could probably just like DoorDash weed. You could probably just be like,
here, yes,
100%. That's crazy. That's crazy.
100%. It's a $50 minimum, and that's it. That is it. I could have it. I could have it here before the podcast was over. And
mind you, my dad did 3 years in a federal penitentiary for weed.
Shit. Yeah. So what's really funny is not when it was first, but like when it was like more common, my dad, came up and visited, and I was like, hey, I'm running really low. Cause I mean, I don't smoke because of my voice and stuff like that, but I do take, some edibles, especially stuff to help me, my brain goes a mile a minute. So like in the evening, I like to take something that helps me, instead of drinking, I just take like something that takes the edge off and kind of just helps me slowly start relaxing for the rest of the evening. And I was like, I'm running low. Can we take a spin to the dispensary? And that was probably 3 years ago. And he was afraid to walk in. Yeah. Totally legit business. Yeah. Nothing was going to happen. He's like, well, what if they take a picture of me and put it in the paper? I was like, what? Well, because you said it's a new place. What if they're like, trying to do advertisements for it? And I was like, that's not. You're gonna walk into a liquor store in 2 hours. Like, you think you're afraid they're gonna take a picture of you at the liquor store? But now he's fine with it. Like now, if something happened, like when my foot really, really hurt, he was like, well, are you okay on that? Do you need me to get, like, literally would have just walked right in. Cause now it's like taboo's like even more so, like 3 years into it. And it's like, even by him now, they have like places that would deliver to his house if he needed something.
That's so it's wild.
Like, yeah. And I got to say this, New York City, you can just walk around and smoke it like a cigarette. Like right. You walk through Times Square and that is all you smell. That is all you smell.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's so different than Virginia right now. And it's funny because like, so we were, I think 3 or 4 years behind California, and you're like 2 or 3 years behind us. So it's like, you can see what it's like the chain that it happens. It all come back down. So yeah, it's interesting. Wild. But going back to what we were originally talking about. Sorry, I'm rambling. I apologize. I'm very excitable though. But what I was saying is, I think maybe when you take the taboo away from things now, it really does kind of take the effect of it being like this cool like hidden thing to do, and you know what I mean. So like I think maybe that's why we're getting less and less of alcohol, but less like I'm sure drug use is still up, but now it's legal drug use. But like maybe that's why we're not hearing as many instances, because either A, it's just a footnote in something, or B, that's not the direct reason for it. So it's just like we're not putting everything that has any kind of touch of drugs in it in that kind of category anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's go over exactly who Jam Master Jay was. His real name was Jason William Mizell. He was born January 21st, 1965. He died October 30th, 2002, at the age of 37. He was born, or his hometown was in Queens, New York, and his group was Run DMC. He was the DJ for Run DMC. J Master Jay formed Run DMC along Joseph Run Simmons and Daryl DMC McDaniels. Run DMC became one of the most important groups in hip-hop history. Now, Run DMC is a huge, huge band. I feel like, again, we kind of talked about it at the beginning, but like, I don't know anyone who doesn't know the name Run DMC at this point. Maybe like the super younger generations might not, but anyone in their early 20s to the 80s, 90s, like everybody knows Run DMC. So just a quick brief overview of them. During the 80s, hip-hop was still fighting to become recognized in the mainstream media. Run DMC helped change that. They stripped down sound, Adidas clothing, and gold chains, and aggressive delivery became iconic. Major songs included I Like That, It's Tricky, King of Rock, Walk This Way, My Adidas, and Peter Piper. That list is incredible. I've never heard Peter Piper or My Adidas, but everything else.
You've never heard My Adidas?
I haven't.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, but every song
I know
on this list
every
is
other
incredible.
one.
Yeah, I love every song on this list. I've never heard, and I'm not like have the entire catalog of Run DMC or anything like that, but like every song I've ever heard from Run DMC, I've liked. Like I might not remember it by the title of the song, but if somebody put it on and I've heard it before, I'll go, oh yeah, I've definitely heard this song before. Because everything in their catalog is good. These are this is a hit list, like right here.
Yeah.
Like these are all of the hits for sure, but they have so many really good songs just in their catalog alone. Like it's just, yeah.
I mean, Tricky is one of those songs that like everybody knows, but for me, anytime I'm cleaning, I use like a spray cleaner, and if I go to spray it, I spray it in like the timing of the beginning of Tricky, and then I sing it in my kitchen every time without fail. Because it just lines up so perfectly, you can't not. So then I find things to spray, and I spray it to the beat of Tricky. It's a great time. They also did a collaboration with Aerosmith, like we talked about, Walk This Way, helped introduce hip-hop into the mainstream audience. Run DMC became one of the first rap groups to achieve major crossover success. They appeared on MTV. They received major record certifications. They toured internationally, and they became cultural icons. Jam Master Jay was the musical backbone of the group, which, again, I knew of this story, but never realized how important Jam Master Jay was to the band. Like I only knew Run and DMC. Like they were the faces. It's like the band Tag Team. Like I only know the main guy of Tag Team. Like it's a very similar situation, but a much darker ending, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, the DJ has to keep everything together because you do have the two frontmen, but like DJ is the one who's
right
making the mix.
It's like the DJ for the Beastie Boys. He goes and does his own thing now because everyone else has passed away. But like you never realize that like, oh, he's the guy. You know what I mean? He's the one making the melodies and the beats and everything. So Jam Master Jay's public image, one element of this became particularly controversial after prosecutors revealed their theory. Run DMC had maintained an anti-drug public image. The group participated in anti-drug campaigns and promoted messages encouraging young people to avoid drugs and violence. That made the allegations revealed after Jay's death particularly shocking. The federal prosecutors would eventually claim that Jason Mizell had become involved in cocaine trafficking outside of his music career. His family disputed those claims and said that he was involved in drugs. This became one of the most controversial elements of the murder investigation. So now we dive into a little more of the darker side of things. And yeah, I forgot that like during the 80s, they were a big proponent of like the DARE campaign and everything else. Like, that was a big part of the push to inner city schools specifically to keep children off of drugs. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Run DMC was no longer generating the enormous commercial success that they had in the 80s. Jam Master Jay remained active in music. He opened a recording studio known as 24/7 Studio. It was located on Merrick Boulevard in Queens, New York. Jay used the studio to work with younger artists and musicians. He became known for mentoring upcoming talent. Among the artists connected to Jay's mentorship was a young 50 Cent.
Damn.
Jay remained respected throughout the Queens hip-hop community, but according to federal prosecutors, another part of his life existed outside of the recording studio. Yeah, could you imagine helping the success of 50 Cent?
Yeah. I wonder who else. Like, I mean, I guess 50 Cent is probably the most notable, but I wonder who else went like into his studio or got mentored or had like a small connection. Would have been pretty cool to kind of get that list.
That would have been like you and I running into a Young Gravy and like giving him advice, you know, or like a Benson Boone, you know, that's wild, dude. Could you imagine? That'd
be
crazy.
Yeah.
The alleged drug operation. Federal prosecutors alleged that during the 1990s and early 2000s, Jason Mizell became involved in arranging cocaine transactions. According to the prosecutors, these were no small street-level deals. The transactions allegedly involved kilogram quantities of cocaine. One particular deal would eventually become central to the government's theory on his murder.
Oh.
Dang.
So we are talking about blocks of cocaine. Like that.
Yeah.
Just to get it right, this is what we're talking about. Like, and so that's, I guess this is where the family is like, he wasn't involved with blocks of cocaine. He was just okay with drugs. Like, that's, I guess that's what you're like. The last section said, like, was like,
I think they're saying completely. Yeah, I think they're saying like he wasn't a dealer, he was a user.
Yeah.
Like, but meanwhile, this is the type of guy where I feel like they like knock on the walls in his house and like cocaine just comes pouring out. You know what I mean? Like that's that level of
kilos
deceit.
Of cocaine in one deal.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So that dives us into this case here, the 10 kilogram cocaine deal. According to federal prosecutors, in August of 2002, Jam Master Jay obtained approximately 10 kilos of cocaine on consignment from a supplier. Wait, hold on. Drug suppliers are doing consignment deals? That's crazy.
Apparently. Look, that's if nuts. You're in Run DMC, I guess maybe they'll do consignment deals.
In my personal job, they won't let me sell products on consignment to my customers, but drug dealers are? That's wild.
Look, they're revolutionary.
Let me give you all of this cocaine, and we're just going to collect payment later. That's crazy. As you use it, we'll collect payment.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being the guy that has to go check in on the usage? He's like, has like a notebook and he's like counting there's one bundle, there's a second one, that one's a little empty.
Well, when they come in bricks, I think it's pretty easy to stop by and be like, okay, well, you had 10 last time and you have 7 now, give us the money for 3. Like
I know they're degenerates, but I want to live in a world where they dress in polos and khakis like I do and have to go out and count individually. They have like great customer service.
You don't know. Maybe that's how they were under the radar. Maybe they were just running around like.
Dude, I hope so. That's the world I want to live in.
Polos
just like
and khakis, and they had like a legit
like a name tag
into it. Yeah, like a name stitch into it and like a company logo, and it has nothing to do with what they're actually doing.
It's just a little cartoon kilo of cocaine like running around.
Cintas made their uniforms. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh man, that's hilarious. Just like those solar salespeople, for cocaine.
Yeah. They got a little clipboard and a list, and they're like,
they go to your neighborhood. Yeah. They go through your neighborhood. They walk around. They knock on the door. You always tell them you're not interested.
Yeah.
They ask for recommendations. It's a good system. The cocaine was reportedly going to be distributed in Maryland. Hey, that's not far. The shipment would have been worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Several people were allegedly involved. Among them, Ronald Washington, Carl Jordan Jr. Washington was an old acquaintance of Jay's, and Jordan was Jay's godson.
Oh.
According to prosecutors, something happened that changed the deal. A dispute developed involving people connected to the Maryland distribution operation. As a result, Washington and Jordan were allegedly removed from the transaction. They were going to lose their share of the money. Prosecutors claimed that this became the motive for the murder. Interesting. Yeah, that's why you shouldn't involve family and business, man. Right there.
Family or friends, because Washington wasn't family.
Yeah. Close friends and family. You should never involve them in business.
Yeah.
Always hire outside workers.
Yeah, so especially not drug business, because I feel like that's whenever you hear about like the drug like bust or something, it came from somebody being pissed off and rolling over on the rest, like and stuff like that.
Every time
you hear about like deaths and stuff involving drugs, it's always like something having to do with somebody got like screwed over and then they sought revenge or something like that. Like that's how it all goes wrong. Not that we're trying to plan like the perfect drug operation or anything. I swear. I feel like
this whole thing sounds real positive.
I know, and I feel like we have to run like a Dare commercial before this.
Yeah.
Does Dare even exist anymore?
I don't think so.
All you have to do is be 16 or 18 now, and you can go to dispensaries. Like I don't know. There's on Dare. They might.
There's a big thing with Dare. I don't fact check me on it because I don't know if it's legitimate or not. But I was told by somebody that Dare was a program by the government to put drug information in front of children so that they would buy drugs. Because secretly, a lot of our economy is ran off of drug money.
Well, yeah, this is why, like, look, I'm not gonna go do a whole bunch of hard drugs. Like, look, I like my edibles because they help me go to sleep and they help me like relax. That's about as far as I get. Maybe have a couple of drinks,
and they make movies great.
Yeah, but like. Other people, like, they go crazy with drugs and stuff like that. I never really understood, like, once states, because in our lifetime, they made marijuana went from, illegal and only sold by dealers to federalized, like, in certain states. Maybe not federalized. Does that mean, like, statewide?
A state regulated.
State regulated,
yeah.
State regulated. State to state, with the beginning states when we were little, and then it kind of has slowly, expanded to like areas on the East Coast, and it's getting to the point where it's more states than not at this point.
I think it's like 42 states out of the 50 states.
Well, because and looking at it strictly from, and like I said, I'm not somebody that overly does anything. Like I don't, alcohol's been legal since way before either one of us were born, and stuff like that. I still won't go out and just get shit-faced because I feel like shit the next day. And it's like, I can feel just as happy with like 2 or 3 drinks and then go home and sleep it off and feel fine the next day type of thing. But so I'm not an in excess person in general, but what I never understood was when they saw the success of the early states that started doing that with marijuana, why all the states shouldn't immediately just do the same thing, because it does bring in a shit ton more money, because it's like the same thing as alcohol. Like some people don't like alcohol. Like I like the THC seltzers. I actually have I have some in my refrigerator right now because like they're awesome because you can drink with your friends who are drinking alcohol, and then there is no hangover whatsoever. I just get more and more tired until I fall asleep. Like that's literally the only effects of it. Somebody's gonna write in and be like, they're horrible for your brain, and I apologize. Like I said, I'm never in excess. Maybe I drink 2 or 3 at a time. If I'm drinking with people. On my own, I'm not gonna drink more than 1 at a time. But that's just my personality in general. I'm crazy enough as it is. You know me. but like in general, like I just feel like there's these 2 avenues of the government can be making a crap ton of money. States can make a crap ton of money because it's already been proven in the states that have made, weed legal and stuff like that is, they make, I think when it first gets introduced into a state, like new, they make more in marijuana sales than they do in alcohol sales for like the first while type of thing, like that's
right
because of the big jump from when it wasn't illegal to now it is legal to wasn't legal to now it is legal. I wanted to say wasn't illegal to anyway, so I was always confused why they never did that. Dare on the other hand was always very weird to me. It like I said, never was like interested in drugs and alcohol, like when I was little anyway, because like the taboo was always gone. But yeah, I just never understood the Dare program. Like just in general, I was like, let's talk about drugs with the little kids.
Right.
I never understood that. So like, I would not be shocked if there were some weird things. That were like untold stories from the Dare, like Dare theories and stuff like that.
So interestingly enough, the Dare program theory is something that I've heard. But my experience is the Dare program is what got my dad arrested. I accidentally told on my dad. And they showed up and raided our house.
Holy shit.
Yeah. But again, this is when weed was like extremely illegal. This was the 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
So,
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're anti-dare here. This is turning into a pro-drug episode 100% now.
Yeah. But, I mean, they've done great things overseas with it. But then you look at places like Oregon and you see the failure because they tried to do the Amsterdam thing where they were like, you can do anything here. Any drug is legal.
Oh, I had no idea about this.
Yeah. Portland, Oregon, they made a whole thing about how they were just completely legalizing, specifically in Portland, any drug. And people flocked from across the country to Portland to do all sorts of horrible drugs. But now it has not only completely destroyed Portland, they have basically zombies. They have heroin zombies and fentanyl zombies that just walk the streets. It's I think like the second most dangerous city in the world. And yeah, it's really, really bad. So they saw the exact opposite. They saw the horrendous failure because they took the concept that countries like Amsterdam and others overseas have, but they didn't build the support and infrastructure to back it. So they didn't invest in clinics to help people get clean. They didn't invest in clinics for people to go and do the drugs in. Right. They didn't invest in doctors and nurses, and they just let people run amok and do drugs, which is horrible idea. Just a horrible idea.
Yeah, you need something in place for that. Like same things that we have rehab in place for alcohol and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're now working so hard to reverse the damage that they've done, and it's very, very difficult. But they are back to like really cracking down on that problem. But there for a minute, they were, I think, the #1 heroin state by far. Like the numbers were vastly different compared to other states.
Wow.
So yeah. But anyways, Ronald Washington. Ronald Washington was not a stranger to Jam Master Jay. The two had known each other for years. Reports indicated that Jay had helped Washington financially. Washington had even reportedly stayed at Jay's home. This relationship became important during the eventual trial. Prosecutors portrayed Washington as someone who had become furious after being excluded from the cocaine deal. His defense argued essentially the opposite. Why would Washington murder someone who he regularly helped? Then you have Carl Jordan Jr. Carl Jordan Jr. was even closer to Jay's world. He was Jam Master Jay's godson. Federal prosecutors eventually alleged that Jordan was the person who actually fired the fatal shot. Jordan denied killing Jay. The government's case against him would eventually become particularly complicated. So now we dive into the exact part of his demise. These two characters are, it's almost like somebody's writing a Hollywood script. You know what I mean?
It's funny that his argument was, why would I murder somebody I regularly help? Because you were pissed off at him for cutting you out. Like, I think that doesn't really work. Like, maybe his argument should have been like, I didn't want to do it anymore. We cut ties on that, and I washed my hands. Like, same thing with the drug thing. I'm not trying to like say like this is the way to get out of murder or anything, but like I feel like we gotta have a lot of like parentheses in this one. Like
the comments on this one are gonna be crazy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It does feel like if I was writing like a new Denzel Washington like Hollywood like what was that movie that he Training Day? Like if I was writing
like, this
sequel,
is the opposite. Yeah. No, this is the opposite of Training Day. So,
right.
You're coming from the drug runners side of things, not the dirty cop side of things. It's the opposite. So yeah, this would be like, what can we call it? It would be like it wouldn't be Training Day, or it could be Training Day in parentheses like a new run, or I don't know. It'd have to be something. Something that kind of
copyrighted.
Yeah. Something that kind of ties it together, but also that something's going to be different. Like, yeah, it would have to be something different. Like, I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibilities to make millions of dollars in Hollywood, but
right. So we come to October 30th, 2002. Jam Master Jay was inside of his recording studio in Queens, New York. Several other people were in or around the building. At approximately 7:30 p.m., 2 armed men entered the studio. According to the government's eventual reconstruction, Ronald Washington pointed the firearm at one of the people inside inside and ordered the person onto the floor. Carl Jordan approached Jam Master Jay. 2 shots were fired. 1 bullet struck Jay in the head. He almost died immediately. The second bullet struck another man, Uriel Tony Rincon, in the leg, and then the attackers fled. Now the crime scene. Police arrived into the studio. One of the biggest mysteries immediately became obvious. There had been witnesses, yet investigators struggled to identify the killers. People inside or connected to the studio either claimed they didn't know what happened or provided limited information. This would become one of the defining features of the investigation.
Yeah, see, that's all kinds of sketchy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean...
Unless they were just all there doing drugs. Like, what if everybody was there doing drugs together and then things got heated?
Oh, you think somebody that was there? It wasn't like the whole story of somebody coming in is all.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like they were all there already. They were all doing drugs together. Things got heated. Some words got said. Some guns got pulled out. And then all of these other people were like, I ain't saying shit.
I mean, I guess because it's a cold case, your theory is as good as any. But I mean, that would make sense, I guess, as to why there wouldn't be really any witnesses, and especially running in and out. I get we're probably talking, evening to dusk.
Yep.
7:30.
Yeah.
It's the light out right now. Well, I guess no, we're talking about October, so it was definitely dark.
Oh yeah, it was definitely
dark. Because I'm thinking it's August. Now I'm thinking now October 7:30 is dark. So I guess, you could be like, yeah, I saw somebody running, but I have no idea their features or anything like that. So that, I guess, still in the realm. But what about the guy that got shot in the leg? He got yelled at to lay down too.
Yeah.
Was that a completely different person?
No, I think you're right. It said they ordered the person onto the floor. One of the people from inside, they ordered them onto the floor.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, yeah. They did talk a little bit, so maybe that theory doesn't really hold up.
I will say this though, 110%. Jay is not Jay. Yeah, Jay. Why am I Jam Master Jay? 100%. That was the target because you don't just shoot a guy in the leg and leave him there.
Oh yeah.
But shoot 2 shots. So Jam Master Jay is 100% the target. They got that done, and they were just like, all right, done. Type of thing. I think the shot in the leg was either the guy arguing, and he was like, you know what, shut the fuck up. Boom.
Right.
Type of thing. Or maybe that was a warning. Maybe it was like, if you tell anybody who I am, the next one's going in your head, but I'm doing this just so you know I'm serious. I'm shooting you in the leg. Type of thing. That sounds like a threat to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't say shit. I'm shooting you in the leg right now. Next one's going in your head.
Yep. Also, aside from the being angry about the deal falling through, what did they really have to gain? They didn't steal anything. I feel like if I was in that situation and I was in their mindset, I would have started stealing stuff. You know what I mean? But ransack his house.
But they're not at his house. They're just at a studio.
Yeah, but like I would have taken things from the studio, but clearly they know how to get into his home too, I would assume. So like I would have went to his house, ransacked his house, make it look as much like robbery gone wrong, you know what I mean, as I could.
I mean, I guess, but clearly they got away with it as is. Like I think, you know, they did the work smarter, not harder. Like I feel like what they
that's some real hatred too, to just be like, I don't want it, because it's back to the money. It's all about the money in the end. So like to kill somebody and then just be like, I'm not gonna take their stuff either. Because it's not like he was like Joe Schmo off the street. He's Jam Master Jay. Like he's got money, maybe, or at least nice things.
Yeah, maybe whoever did it wanted the least amount of draw that could come back to him. Mm-hmm. So him or her. I mean, look, it was the 2000s. Hey,
yep, women can do anything men can do,
exactly,
including brutally murdering Jam Master Jay.
Look, we're going to go through a lot more cases. There's definitely going to be both men and women doing things. But maybe we're thinking too simplistically. And maybe they actually thought this through and we're like, look, we could steal shit. But then it's like the more shit you have, even if it's just money, the more shit that you have, the more that can come back type of thing. Like, so maybe they're just like, maybe this really was just like let's just leave no ties, no trails. We get in, we get out, boom. That's all we do, like type of thing. Because maybe, like I said, maybe they're thinking it way more into it than either one of us are thinking. Like the planned out or anything of this. We're thinking of it like a small scale, you know, dispute. And why wouldn't they just, you know, they've already done the worst that they could do. Why not? But maybe they really did. It was just like less of a moment of anger, more of a premeditated, like I just want to do this, and that's all I want from this, and this will make things in my mind done. Like
it almost makes you wonder if there's more to it than just the cocaine run.
Yeah,
like to hold that level of anger, I get like losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars is definitely a big deal, but like to hold that level of anger, feel like there's got to be more to it. But let's dive into the next section here. The Wall of Silence. The murder occurred in a community where distrust of police was significant. Witnesses were reportedly afraid. Some feared retaliation. Others simply refused to cooperate. Investigators received large numbers of tips. Reward money eventually exceeded $60,000. Still, nobody was charged, and years passed. I guess that might also be a big part of it. Is we're talking early 2000s, so and in Queens, New York, like that's not super far from Harlem. I don't think. I'm not super familiar with that area up that way.
I mean, all the bureaus are all the boroughs are, you know, close enough. Like you know what I mean. Like you're in the city. You're in the city. Like, I mean, I get each borough is a little bit different, and they are, you know, you got to take a subway, but like at the same time, like it's all New York City. So,
and New York in general, people just distrust the police, anyways, for the most part.
I will say this, and they are a very commanding presence. So I 100% feel very intimidated by the police.
Oh, absolutely.
Type of thing. So
yeah, and I feel like, honestly, distrust in the police is getting worse now because of documentaries. Because you constantly see how cases get fumbled, or, you know, you find stuff out about dirty cops that you didn't know.
Right.
Or how many people at this point have we been able to find that were innocent of things that they were committed of 30, 40 years ago? Like,
well, I wonder if that, I mean, I think there's always going to be a level of distrust and more so of like intimidation by police in general. Because like I've been like just as the most insignificant, that's the word I was looking for, insignificant example I can give. I've used to get pulled over all the time because I would be driving home from shows like late at night. I didn't have a drop to drink because I was like, you know me, I don't drink before I sing.
Mm-hmm.
And then depending on where we are, if people are already starting to leave, it's like, I'm not going to hang around by myself and have some drinks at a bar. I'm going to go home.
Right.
Have a drink at home, whatever. So I used to drive home and I would get pulled over just because it was like, after midnight and like they were trying to, and I would be like, I don't know why I'm scared. Like there's no reason. I wasn't speeding. Like I haven't had a drop of alcohol. Like I should not be scared. But just something about, when those lights pop on behind you,
yeah,
stuff, you're like, what the fuck did I do? Type of thing. So it's just one of those things. And like I said, that is the lowest of like end of that spectrum and stuff like that. But like just to, you feel that in that instance. So I get it. I get the thought of that, but I also wonder if like what you were saying with the documentaries and all of these true crime, podcasts and documentaries and shows and stuff like that. I wonder if it also mixes with we can't rely on them as much as, back in like the 50s, 60s, stuff like that, where they were like the authority and we didn't have the ability to look stuff up on our own, to kind of, go through a case on our own, like type of thing.
Right.
The average person didn't. Like, so you kind of had to take their word for it. Like, whether you liked it or not, you kind of had to take their word for it. And now it's more of like okay, well, I don't like your answer, so I'm going to figure this out. So
that is true.
It's a little bit of that, scared is the worst word I could say of it, but the intimidating feeling of police in general, mixed with if I can't 100% rely on this answer because I don't feel right about it, I'm going to look it up myself and stuff like that. And look, there are some amazing police officers out there. There's some amazing people in, law enforcement and the military in general, like in everything. But there are also some not so in any job. There's some people that are not so great in the same field, like, even in radio and stuff like that. I've worked with plenty of people that are not so great. But just in general, I feel like maybe that's kind of what, and this was like early 2000s, the internet, wasn't anywhere near what it is now, but it still was like, we were still able to connect and talk then type of thing. And so like, yeah, I think maybe that was the beginning of kind of like, let's look stuff up on our own and,
right.
Like that. So it was like, we had these kind of two different thoughts that would also, make you not always want to like deal with the police as often.
So let's dive into some of the early theories here. Because Jam Master Jay was a famous hip hop figure, theories immediately started to spread. Possible motives discussed publicly included a robbery, music industry disputes, personal grudges, rap-related conflicts, connections to other hip-hop murders, because you had like Notorious B.I.G. and Tupac were a couple years before. Like, so drug trafficking.
I just feel like, when you get into that realm, like the hits on other rappers and other hip-hop artists and stuff like that, I feel like Run DMC just doesn't fit into that.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because like you had such a different feel of it. And look, we don't know them personally. Maybe like the whole, anti-drug, maybe that was all just, we're getting paid for that. We don't know that, like type of thing. So maybe in their personal lives, they're completely polar opposite people. And maybe they do fit into, the same realm of categories with Biggie and Tupac and Puff Daddy at that point. What was I think he was P. Diddy, Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
Early
P.
back then.
Yeah.
Well, like that was all, that was all violence and drug related and hits and stuff like that, all going into the music industry and you would make a rap about it. Like, you know what I mean? So maybe they were like that and like behind the scenes, but we'll never know.
Well, and my thing is like, if this is a police officer's theory, honestly, to me, that's just straight up racial profiling at that point, because like they're not even relatively in the same ballpark. Like comparing Tupac and Biggie, the only connection that you have is another rap artist was murdered. Like there's no connection to those three, other than the hip hop. Like yeah. I don't know, man. That one's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we can check off robbery too. Like we can mark that off.
I agree. I feel like that did not hold water when I was thinking about it. Like, immediately that story falls apart. It's pretty clear that it's not a music industry thing, so you cross that off pretty quick.
Yeah. So we're really
rap
looking
related,
at
definitely not.
Personal grudge, drug related, or drug related. Like those two, I think are the.
And honestly, I feel like the case is both of those things. It's a drug-related personal grudge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think no matter what, like whether it was drug-related or not, it's personal grudge, because the level of which, like we said, nothing, if you're not, this was premeditated. This was planned out. This is all they wanted to do because they didn't take anything. Yeah. So like, it's got, no matter what, it's personal. Like no matter what. So.
Plus, you got the close range to the head. Like, that's another, like, that's mafia-style shit, man.
Yeah.
So the case does go cold. Years passed without an arrest. The murder became one of hip-hop's most famous unsolved crimes. Jam Master Jay's killing joined the murders of Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. as examples of famous rap murders that the authorities seemed to be unable to solve. But investigators continued working. Federal authorities eventually became heavily involved. New witnesses were interviewed. Evidence was re-examined. Additional ballistics testing was conducted. Slowly, the case began moving again. In August 2020, almost 18 years after the murder, federal prosecutors announced charges against Ronald Washington and Carl Jordan Jr. Prosecutors alleged that the murder was a retaliation for being excluded from the cocaine transaction. The announcement shocked fans. For almost two decades, the public had heard numerous theories. Now the government claimed it knew exactly what happened. The government's theory is that Jam Master Jay arranged a cocaine deal. Washington and Jordan were expected to participate. A dispute caused Jay to remove them from the transaction, and Washington and Jordan became angry about losing their share. They decided to kill him, and they entered Jay's studio on October 30th, 2002. Washington controlled the room, and Jordan approached Jay, and Jordan fired the fatal shot.
Damn.
Now it gets a little tricky. A third man enters the case. Years
there, by the way. It's tricky.
Pun intended. Years after Washington and Jordan were arrested, prosecutors charged another man, Jay Bryant. Bryant became important because investigators connected to him physical evidence from the crime scene. DNA linked Bryant to a hat found inside the studio. Prosecutors eventually alleged that Bryant played a crucial role in allowing the killers to enter the building. So now we have almost like a well thought out tag team situation. This is like an Ocean's 11 situation. They not only premeditated it, but planned out an entry point, planned out an escape. The fire escape theory, according to the government's updated reconstruction, Jay Bryant entered the building containing the studio. Then he opened a locked fire escape door. This allowed the killers to enter without the normal entrance and potentially alerting Jay Master Jay that they were coming. Washington and Jordan then entered the studio armed. Bryant's alleged role helped explain how the killers gained access. So, yeah, I mean, that's a pretty crucial detail to the story.
Is this like a hat that they just gathered and sat on for 18 years? Like, I'm so confused because, like, it's a recording studio. Like, so many people probably, there was so much DNA probably there. Like, you know how often I like spit comes out of my mouth when I'm singing and doing vocal takes and stuff like that. And hair comes off, like you lose a certain amount of hairs every day. Both of those are forms of DNA.
How do you jump from a hat to that conclusion?
Yeah.
Did they just like decide that the fire escape was open? Like, did anybody admit to coming through the fire escape? That's a crazy jump from a hat. Yeah. But the 2024 trial, this is very recent.
Yeah.
Ronald Washington and Carl Jordan Jr. went on trial in federal court in Brooklyn. The trial lasted approximately 4 weeks. Prosecutors presented witnesses who claimed they had information about the murder, but had remained silent for years. One of the most important witnesses was Uriel Tony Rincon,
the guy who got shot in the leg.
Rincon was the man shot in the leg during the attack. He identified Carl Jordan Jr. as the shooter. Another witness identified Washington as being inside of the studio holding a gun. The alleged confessions. Prosecutors presented testimonies about statements allegedly made by the defendants after the murder. Washington's former girlfriend testified that Washington admitted involvement in Jay's killing. Another witness testified that Jordan later made an extremely disturbing statement suggesting that if Jay were still alive, he would kill him again.
Damn.
Defense attorneys attacked the credibility of these witnesses. They questioned why people who supposedly knew what happened waited so many years to speak, which is it's a valid argument, and people make that argument all the time with all sorts of cases of all sorts of levels of brutality. I don't think anyone understands how difficult it is to come forward on things.
Yeah.
Like, you think in your head that you know what you would do in that situation, but you just don't until you're in that situation.
Yeah.
And everyone's different. Some people have a flight versus fight method, Yeah. So I don't know. I understand it taking so long to come forward. I really do. Let's dive into this defense. Carl Jordan Jr.'s attorney argued that he was somewhere else when Jam Master Jay was murdered. Ronald Washington's defense argued that killing Jay made little sense. Washington depended on Jay financially. Jay had helped him. Why murder someone who was supporting you? Defense attorneys also attacked the government's drug deal motive. They argued that the prosecutors were trying to force scattered pieces of evidence into a story that didn't fit. And finally, the verdict.
I was just gonna say, I get that defense is the defense on that. I feel like is a little bit better. Like saying, Jay was helping Washington. Like, why would he want him out of the picture? Like, then you kind of, it's better than like what the early defense was. Type
yeah.
Like, that's a little bit more thought out, whether it's true or not, or whether the anger outweighed that, not thinking forward, like type of thing. But like, that is a little bit better. All I'm saying is it's a little bit better of a defense than the original.
Agreed. February 27th, 2024, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
The jury returned its verdict. Carl Jordan Jr. as guilty and Ronald Washington as guilty. After more than 21 years, it appeared the murder of Jam Master Jay had finally been solved, but the case wasn't finished. In 2025, a federal judge overturned Carl Jordan Jr.'s murder conviction. The judge concluded that the prosecutors had not presented sufficient evidence connecting Jordan to the drug deal motive required for the federal murder charge. This did not necessarily mean that the judge concluded that Jordan had not shot Jam Master Jay. Instead, the legal problem involved whether prosecutors had sufficiently proven that specific federal theory connecting the murder to the narcotics conspiracy. Ronald Washington's conviction still remained intact. The decision created another extraordinary chapter in the case that had already lasted more than 2 decades. And then in 2026, April this year,
Holy
Jay
shit.
Bryant pled guilty to a federal murder charge for his role in Jam Master Jay's killing. Bryant admitted that he had helped people involved in the murder gain access to the recording studio. According to federal prosecutors, Bryant entered the building. He opened the locked fire escape door. This allowed the armed attackers to enter without alerting Jay. Bryant admitted that he knew a firearm would be used. His plea provided one of the clearest acknowledgments from anyone charged in connection to the murder.
But so did he just tell, like, he has to know. Like,
he has to know.
So, like, we still have Washington 100% charged. Like, yeah. But all signs pointed he wasn't the one who actually shot Jay.
Right.
So, like, what is happening? What is happening? Like, I'm so confused now.
So clearly this Bryant guy definitely knows who did it. And if the other guy, Carl Jr., Jordan Jr., I forget, Carl Jordan Jr., I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, he gets out and you know that he's guilty and you just admit to this deal where you're clearly going to spend the rest of your life in prison. Why wouldn't you just be like, yeah, and I know who did it, and get his ass back in prison? Like, what?
Maybe it's safer for him to be not in the same place with him. I don't know. That's the only thing.
Yes. Or the other part could be that maybe it was somebody else.
Somebody else. So you're saying Carl's not there at all. Carl Jr. is not there at all. Is what
I mean. I'm saying
because what we're saying is in 2024, they're 100% sure Washington was there.
Right.
And in 2025, they're 100% sure this Jay Bryant, was the third man and helped them. The two attackers, which no one has said it wasn't two people. Everyone has agreed that it's two people. That he. So there's only two theories. Then it's either A, all Jay did was unlock the fire escape, knew it was going to happen, and was probably one of the people that was laying on the floor when this whole thing went down. And it was Washington and some other person. Or B, Jay is not saying it, but alluding to he unlocked the fire escape. Washington came in, and it was just him and Washington.
That also could be. So yeah, I mean, well, we know there's at least two people for sure that held guns.
That's what I'm saying. So like, if Carl Jordan Jr. has nothing to do with it, like he's not. I mean, and what they're saying is it's not that they're saying he had nothing to do with it. They're saying that there's not enough evidence as of now to convict him that he had enough to do, like, doing with it, type of thing.
Right.
But if we follow that premise along and Jay is 100% saying he was there and he had involvement, that's one person.
Yep.
And if they're obviously Washington's didn't get out at the same time that Carl Jr. got out.
Yeah.
So that has to be, that's two people. So, I mean, Jay Bryant isn't saying it, but at the same time, he's not saying it, that he was just the other person. Not only did he let Washington get in through the fire escape, but he was just the other guy.
Well, and this is happening right now.
I know.
Like, we're going to have to follow this case.
We're definitely doing a follow-up. Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
this is going to be a follow-up.
Crazy. Yeah. I mean, all signs to me are pointing to Carl got off on a technicality. I think that he absolutely did it. And
that's the crazy thing, though. Like, until we hear that from somebody else that was in the room.
Right.
And I get it. I'm sitting here now. I'm so, like, I don't know. I don't, because, like, what is Jay to this whole situation? Did he really just leave a door unlocked? And he felt like that guilty that 18 years later he had to tell people, yeah, I left the door open. Like,
also, he had to have gotten paid. He had to have gotten paid. You don't just decide that you're gonna do that. You know, if that would mean that he obviously had to know Washington.
Yeah.
So what's their connection? What's their relationship? Where's the paper trail? There's definitely money for him doing this, like over the last 20 years. And now he gets caught and he doesn't. That's the thing, is like, he has to know who did it. So like, either he knows who did it, and maybe you're right, it was him, and he's trying to say that, you know, he didn't do that part, he just opened the door so that he has a chance for a plea deal in a few years to maybe like get off on good behavior or get it brought down some. Or he knows exactly who did it, and he's maybe just terrified of what that person can still do. Either way, both of those point towards it's not Carl, but I'm still very convinced that it's Carl.
I don't know. I don't know. And that's the craziest part, that we're talking about something from 2002, and the latest updates happened months ago. Like, we're April.
Right.
We're at the very beginning of August. So we're talking within the last 5 months. This is less than that. 4 months.
Yeah, dude.
The last 4 months. This is changing and changing from the 2 primary suspects to 3 suspects to technically
a possible 4th.
Well, no, technically back down to 2.
We
only have 2 that are actually, you know, in line as real suspects. If Carl Jr. is getting off, like,
right.
I'm so confused.
Also, Carl's out and about, so like, everybody in New York or wherever, like, if you're anywhere close to that man, maybe just keep an eye out, I guess, is the best, you know, advice that I can give. I've never had a case where the person who I was convinced committed a murder was let out of prison. So I don't know. That's weird.
I feel like there's just something we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Because I get it, yes, and this is the justice system, you know, really, you know, working. Like, innocent until proven guilty, like, and that's the way it should be, whether right or wrong. That is the way it should be. Like, it shouldn't be, well, we're pretty sure, so yeah, he's guilty. It's, you've got to 100% prove to a jury that you are like a resounding guilty or resounding, like, you know what I mean? So, you know, for better or worse, this is the justice system working.
Right.
But, like, I wonder if there's just stuff they're not letting out yet, because this is now an active, ongoing case at this point. So I wonder if there is more evidence, particularly from Jay, that did kind of help steer the case for Carl in the direction of, you do not have enough to overrule what we know,
right,
behind the scenes. Like,
and that could, you know, be. I mean? Yeah, that could be. But for now, we're gonna follow the case, and yeah, that is the entire mystery of the murder of Jam Master Jay. Everybody, this was a longer one, but a lot of twists and turns.
Yeah, I mean, just like you were saying, this could be a movie, like, type of thing. Like, this is it's all laid out there. I feel like waiting for somebody to make. Maybe when it's finally, you know, maybe it's finally done. Maybe Hollywood's waiting to make something on this, or something like that.
Maybe
but it would make for a good movie.
Hey, maybe we write the movie. You never know. But that is our episode, everybody. Thank you so much for listening, and I'm sure the comments are going to be filled on this one. So,
well, yeah,
give your thoughts.
That's the other thing. Yeah, I mean, if you know more information about this, if you're, you know, following the case a little bit more, absolutely put some more information in the comment. We're definitely going to have to do like a part 2 when more comes out from this, as it is still ongoing type of thing. But if you know something that we missed out on, or something that, just gives a different account for crucial details or anything like that, like absolutely interested in hearing that or reading that, or if there's more articles, something that, kind of gives a little bit different side to this, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So. But until then, Danny, tell the people about yourself.
I'm just tired. Yeah.
No longer just happy to be here. I'm just tired. There should be a band called I'm Just Tired, and you guys should always tour together.
Oh,
you open and they close.
I'm starting to think of it now of getting a shirt that says, just happy to be here on the front, and then I'm just so tired on the back, or something like that.
That's great.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. It'll be a cool t-shirt. The other thing is, if you have some cool ideas for t-shirt designs, put them in the comments too.
Oh, yeah.
If we see one that's really cool and we want to use it, absolutely, you get all the credit, stuff like that. But yeah, just happy to be here. Super, super active. We're having a lot of fun. We did a weekender to Virginia and back. That was awesome. First time I get to see you in person. That was great, being able to hang out. Gonna do it again. Can't wait to do that again. And more like closer to your hometown, I think would be a lot more fun, and we can kind of hang out a little bit more. And we're going to Pittsburgh and back early September.
Fantastic.
Got some local shows for August. And then, October, we're trying to do another weekender, and maybe even November. Like, we're trying to turn it into more of a thing. Like, we're having a lot of fun with it. We're talking t-shirt designs and more merch designs, because we were running a little low. But this last weekender, it kind of showed us that, like, hey, we need to have a better supply on the road. So I think over the next month, like, that's going to be a big concern and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, everything we can do. And then we've been talking about this. So two more like podcasts to be looking out for. Obviously, this one, the Dark Side of Music, we're going to continue to do this regularly as much as we possibly can, because this is fun talking about, like, especially when it's like a head scratcher and there's no right answer for
right
type of thing. But we're going to do some that recap episodes, because I found out that you have not seen any of the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies.
I have not.
I cannot let that stand for a long time. So we're going to do a retro recap series of the first three Tom Holland Spider-Mans. And that's retro recap is basically the same thing as that recap show, but it's where, it's a movie that's already been out. So there won't be a spoiler alert or anything like that, because, you've seen them, except for Hardy.
Except for me.
But and then after that, absolutely the new Spider-Man, we'll go over that. That'll be that recap show, because we don't want to spoil that for anybody if you haven't had a chance to see that. So a lot of plans in the works. And then you and I have been we throw around a lot of ideas for stuff. But a podcast where we do just get to ask questions.
Yeah.
And I am very excited for this, because there's so many times where both of us just have questions and we're going through stuff. So we're forming that one right now behind the scenes, and that'll also be a part of whatever podcast network that we could bring together, type of thing. But yeah, really excited for everything that's in the future. And I mean, Hook and Bridge has got 1 million episodes and going super strong now. Every time I open Instagram, I see a new clip from Hook and Bridge.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
I mean that in a good way. Yeah. I love seeing new clips. I always give it a like, and if it's something like funny that I can comment, I'll always comment.
And on top of that, this is the first time I'm ever seeing this, but I'm going to say it on this upcoming week of the Hook and Bridge as well. I talked it over with everybody, and we have a new show that Taylor and I are going to host called Music Court. And this is going to be a good concept. I think you're going to like this, Danny. What it is people will submit their opinion. So, for example, somebody might say Nickelback is the worst band ever. And I am talking with a law school about getting law students to participate. And it's going to be mock trial, basically. One of them is going to defend the statement. One of them is going to prosecute the statement. I am going to be the judge. Taylor is going to be the bailiff. And we are going to decide at the end if the statement wins or not, or, who on the panel wins. But it's going to be actual practicing lawyers from a law school who will someday serve you in your life, and you can look back at that video and be like, hey, that guy got me out of a traffic ticket once. So
I love that idea. I think that's awesome. I'm very excited for that. I am just as excited for that as the questions podcast that we're gonna do too.
Dude, I'm so excited. We've got so much stuff going on. It's crazy.
I'm excited about everything. We just got to get started on everything. I'm way too excited.
Time, Batman. There's just no time. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, everybody.